Okay, so today we're going to work on the first 5 notes of the C major scale, C to G. I mean, we both know the C major scale in like theory, but on trumpet, we obviously need to get like everything here down. So we're just going to start on holding the horn. So remember everything we talked about last lesson. So just remember, good posture, nice air. Make sure that you're not pushing the horn into your face, because that causes a lot of like just unwanted tension and it gets you a lot tired a lot faster. So just remember that you're not pushing the horn, you're placing the horn. So when we're holding the horn on our left hand, we want to make sure that our thumb is in this. Yeah, we want to make sure our thumb is in what we call the first valve slide ring. So that whenever we play a note that has the first valve down, we push that out just a bit to fix the tuning. And we don't need to do that with the second valve because there's that thing right there. So we also want to make sure that there is a finger in the third valve slide ring, so that whenever we play a note with the third valve, we push this out a bit to fix the tuning. So like for the D, we do that just a bit because the tuning is not too far off, but is it here? Awesome.
Oh. Hey, I have a pencil just like that.
Oh, sweet.
Maybe you stole it.
Okay. Whew. This is why we have slide grease. So slide grease is for the slides. And whenever it doesn't move the way we want it to, we just grease it up. That's why it's called slide grease.
Grease that baby up.
Yeah, it's kind of gross. So trumpets are gross. Trumpets are just nasty pretzels of metal that make obnoxiously loud noises.
I play a string instrument. Anything that you spit into is gross to me.
Yeah, anything that you have to... Oh, wait, hold on. Wow, there was actually no spit in that. But anything that you have to actually empty your spit out of is pretty gross.
Yeah.
Okay, so... There we go. Back to the lesson. We want to make sure that there's a finger in each of those valve slide rings, so that when we play a note, we can kick it out. And we also want to make sure that whenever we move these valve slides, we make sure that the valve is pressed down so that it doesn't like mess it up. Because you see, it's really smooth when I press it down. It's really easy. When I take it off, it's a lot harder. So, and that's why, because the air can move through it a lot easier. So whichever way you want to hold it with the left hand is really okay. Like the way you're doing it right now, like that, is how I started off with it. The reason I do this now is because it gives me a lot more support and it gives me a lot more like flexibility with it. But that's because of marching band and I just got used to it. You don't need to hold it like that. That's just how I do it. And the middle finger is longer than every other finger, so I feel like it gets a nice, easier move.
I feel like my hand isn't big enough for this.
That's actually okay, because this one has the adjustable ring on it, so you can move it. Yeah, you can move it closer, and it makes it easier to do that. These professional horns are weird because it's just like, well, if your hand's too small, oh well, because you can't adjust it. So, right. So that's the left hand. And we want to make sure that no matter how you're holding it with the left hand, you just want to make sure that you can hold it up nice and strong without being like that, or without being like that, or or whatever, just right here. So does that feel comfortable for you?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. So that's the left hand. For the right hand, what I typically do if I'm feeling just like, if I'm playing something that doesn't take too much technical skill, is I put my thumb right here. I put my pinky in the pinky ring, because that's what the pinky ring is for, the pinky, who'd have guessed. And then these 3 fingers are for the valves. Now, when it comes to like changing a lot of notes really fast and doing that stuff, I move my thumb down here because I can grip the trumpet up while I press down on the valves, so it creates a nice balance. So we're just gonna start off with that, because I mean this is for like fun, easy songs, and this is for actually trying to do something. So just put your thumb right there, pinky there, and then boom. And we want to make sure of when you press down on the valves is you don't press down like that, because that just, I mean, it looks weird. And
A little bit.
what you're doing then is you're putting pressure on the valves where it shouldn't be. If you go like this, it's a lot easier to press down the valve quicker and more efficiently, and you're pressing it straight down. When you go like that, you're actually putting pressure that way, which can ruin the valves over time. It won't be like next week. It won't be like in a week your trumpet's done for, but in 5 years, yeah, it probably will be if you keep going like that. So straight down, thumb right there for support, and pinky, it has a pinky ring. You don't have to put it in there if it's not like comfortable. I take it out and put it back in all the time. Like that doesn't really matter as much as everything else that you're doing. So going back, left hand, thumb in the first valve slide ring, and then middle finger in the third valve slide ring. Press down 1 and 3 and go like that.
I really think my hand just isn't.
Is it? Oh, it's also like a crappy trumpet. Like, I really need to get it replaced at least. But yeah, so just try to work with it as much as you can. If you can't, that's fine. The third valve slide matters a lot more than the first valve slide. But yeah, and especially for today's purposes, I think we're just going to be using the third valve slide.
Okay.
So.
Remove the wrong thing.
Oh, it's fine. So, think of everything that we just ran through. Make sure your left hand is nice and strong and nice and supportive, and your right hand is nice and comfortable where it is. Your left hand's going to be supporting the horn a lot more than your right hand, because really you just have that, and you're not going to be carrying around like that. You know what I'm saying? So everything is nice and strong. Good posture. Make sure your embouchure is nice and set. Remember, we're not like that. We're not pushing the horn into our face. We're just placing it and blowing. So try to blow this note. Yep. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go. So C, D. You see how on the D I'm pressing the third valve as well as the first. I'm not moving the first because the third does a lot of tuning adjustments on its own. So you really just need to move the third. But yeah, so it's C, D, C, D. Yeah. So, and again, that is quite a difficult horn to work with. But as long as you have that movement down, even if it's just like that, then yeah, that's just fine. So we're gonna go. And try to hold out the D as long as you can. Yeah. So when you get to the D and this doesn't come out, try not to like really wrench it out and get it to where it needs to be. If it doesn't pop out, it doesn't pop out.
Like the valve side?
Yeah. If it doesn't, if it doesn't go like that, oh, then it doesn't go like that.
Yeah.
Just try you're playing the D and try to just work with it just using this finger, not your whole hand. Just trying pushing it where it needs to be.
I don't know if I have the finger power. Okay.
And if you want to, you can also move this back more.
Like this way?
Yeah. So I think right there would be better. So push it, yeah. Yeah, and also, oh yeah. So try not to go like that, because you're not able to use your whole finger if you have it, especially past the knuckle. Try to use that, like your fingernail or the first knuckle if you can, because when you do that, you get a lot more length out of it. You get a lot more strength and power. Instead of just going like that, you go like that. So yeah. So let's do it again. C, D. There we go. Yeah. And see how that was a lot, you weren't really trying to wrench it out, you just pushed it and it slowly got there. Yeah. So now we're gonna do D, E. Yeah, so try and set in that position and then just go D, 1 and 3, 2, E, 1 and 2. Yeah. There you go. That was really smooth. That was good. So now that we have those 3 notes down, let's do all of them. And while you're doing it, try not to go onto another note if the first note hasn't settled. So if the C doesn't sound too right, try to make it centered and then move to the D. If the D doesn't sound too good, wait till it gets there and then move to the E. There you go. Yeah. The D, I mean, again, it's a weird horn to work with. But yeah, that was good support. That was good sound out of it. I'd say try to use more firm and focused air, because your air right now it's it wants to come out, but there's a lot of stuff happening physically or on the horn that just making it super shaky and super tight. Remember, just sigh it out. Just let it go. Whatever happens is going to happen, and it's okay. So again, just there you go. See, that was a lot better. Yeah. So now we're going to move on to the F, which is my grade in a lot of classes.
Unfortunately.
I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
I'm kidding. So the F is just going to be first valve, and actually what we're going to do is we're just going to go to E to F. So Yeah, and don't worry about pushing the first valve out on this, because it's so low in the trumpet's register. It doesn't really need to fix its tuning. It's so little out of tune that a breath adjustment can fix it, and we're not even really focusing on tuning right now anyways. So so yeah, that's not something to be concerned about, especially for the low F. Don't worry about it. So just there you go, nice. So now we're gonna go C to F. So there you go. Yeah, that was a nice amount of air. I could tell that you really got a nice breath out of that, and you let it flow. Try to make everything a bit less shaky. So like, there's a lot of this going on. Again, if this doesn't pop out, that's fine. Just push it until it does. And if you feel like it's not going to come out or whatever, just move on to the E. It's really not too important. What I'm trying to get down is just like the whole basic finger movement that everything has to do in the horn. So there you go. Yeah. So when you get to the F, try to have as equal amount of air that you did on the C, because the C was like C. It was really like nice and powerful, but the F was like F. It was kind of, so every note needs to have like a good amount of air, and the C had a lot of air, but it's okay to sacrifice air for other notes. So instead of like that, try and see how every note had like an equal amount of air to it. The C was quieter, but that's because I was saving the air for the F, or for every other note.
Yeah.
So when you're playing trumpet, again, like I remember, like have the sigh, of course. Don't have a like that. Have a very nice, even flowing sigh. Very easy, but not just all in one go. Yeah. See? There you go. That was already, yeah, that was a lot more sound on the F. There was actually more sound on the F than there was on the C. So you saved enough air that you actually had like a crescendo through that, which is really cool. So now we're going to go to the G. How much time? Oh, it's 18 minutes.
We can do the G if you want.
Yeah, okay.
I have like one that's like 30 minutes long.
So we're going to do the G. So that's where we're going to hit. We're going to try to do F to G. So just there you go. Yeah. And don't worry about tonguing just yet, because tonguing, I mean, we're just focusing on the fingerings. We're focusing on this section of the horn for now. So just there you go. Yeah. Try to have like before, try to have a more even air with it, because you had good air on the F and the G. It started really quiet and then got a bit louder as it went on. Try to have just a nice even, and then when you started, what I noticed is that you like really like push for it. The horn, the way the trumpet works is not that your lips vibrate and the vibration makes the noise. It's actually, you buzz, you like set your embouchure, you blow the air, and then your mouthpiece actually vibrates your lips for you. It's kind of weird. But because of that, we don't want a lot of like that. We don't want a lot of pressure. We just really need like that. We just need that little bit of meat, I guess, in the mouthpiece to make the sound.
Lip meat.
Yeah. So just yeah, that was a lot more even. There was kind of like an airy tone to it, but that's,
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. But yeah, good job.
Thank you.